So it's been about 4 months since I've made my last video. I've just disappeared, Yeet, yeah, yeet, right? Just decided to evaporate into nothing. Uh, I'm back. Yeah, and I worked on a few projects in those 4 months. Uh, one of those I would like to present to you today. Yeah, right. So you know that calendar I made like 4 months ago? Yeah, like the second to last, do you say that the second to last video that I made before I decided to not exist for 4 months? Yeah, exactly. That calendar program where you could like do stuff, right? Like do not like where you could basically like plan your day. And there were also like those Moodle things. Whatever, go check out the video. I'll maybe put a link in the description. Maybe if I forget about it, then I don't know. I'm sad, I guess. That's me. Mm, but after that, I decided to work on more projects because I thought to myself, hey, that was fun, right? That was quite fun. I learned quite a lot of things, and that was pretty cool. I wanted to work on some other things too, but this time not in Python. I wanted to use another programming language, right? So wanting, of course, to use another programming language, I decided to go and work on another two projects with Python. Yeah, I don't know. I just stuck to Python for another two projects that I'm not really that proud of, okay? I don't even think they work at this point. Uh, yeah, whatever. But that's not the important part. Today, I'm going to show you guys the third project that I made after the calendar thing, right? And this is where I actually switched programming languages, right? So the goal of this whole project thing or whatever was to of course learn new things and to discover new parts of programming. That's really what you do when you wanna when you start a program or when you start a new project. You want to learn things, right? You want to gather experience, correct? You want to learn things. Now, if you just connect the dots, what kind of project would you make? Or no, a better question. What kind of project would you not make if you were me? What kind of project would you not work on if you wanted to work on a project where you can learn new things? Correct. You wouldn't work on the exact same project again. Which is why I worked on the exact same project again. So let's just start Planify and just show you guys what you can do in this uh, program and this desktop application. So first of all, when you start the thing, you can see like here's the calendar, here's the long-term goals. You can like add new things by clicking on this, whatever. And I already have one of these things. Oh yeah, right. And there are also these like confirmed widgets or alerts that I added. You can, and there are animations. So yeah, and yeah, you can also change the color of these nodes to whatever you want. You can switch to other like right days, not days, years. For example, maybe you want to do that for some reason. I don't know. Um, and yeah, right. So that there's not much to say about this. You can just add long-term goals because, in my opinion, long-term goals are pretty important. Such as finish pooping. Okay, no, this is childish. Let's not do that. Um, so for example, uh, get a straight. I can't type straight A's. Um, this is impossible, but whatever. So hi guys, it's me from the future, and at this point in the video, I was talking about how getting straight A's is literally impossible, and it is. I've been trying for the past 3 years, No results? I'm in tears. Okay, no. Look, I'm going to run down. If you're a teacher watching my videos, I'm going to run down all of the advantages and disadvantages of giving me A in whatever you teach me, right? And you can decide whether or not you want to give me A's. All right. So as for advantages, we have uh, you will make me happy. And as disadvantages, we have none, literally none, right? So in other words, right? You can either make an Asian guy happy, or you make or you do nothing, right? Right. So if I were you, I'm not saying anything. It's up to you to decide. But you know, if I were you, I would try to make a guy happy, right? A 15-year-old student, has a lot of stress. I would make his day, right? I'm just saying, right? So you can add like long-term goals, whether they are realistic or not, right? Um, and you can change the colors. I've already set that. You can delete those. You can also just add a bunch of uh, notes or goals in this case, and then just delete all of them by clicking on this button. And it says like confirm delete. You want to delete these widgets, and then yes, and then voila, they just disappear, right? So that's the long-term goals section. Let's move on to daily scheduling or planning or whatever. So this is the tasks section. This is the notes and reminders section. Here you can add like things that you have to do or reminders. For example, uh, mom's birthday, ha ha yeet, right? And then buy her a gift. Uh, yeah, right. So for example, you can do that. And again, for each individual section, or for each section, there's always this delete all button, remove all notes button, and then you can delete all of them. Yeah, there's not much to say about this. It's a big canvas, I guess, where you can put your notes. Um, right, so you have a lot of freedom. And in the tasks section, you can add tasks that you want to do, and you can enter the time you want to start this task and the time you want to stop doing this task or a deadline or whatever. And you know, since not every task has to have, or not everybody likes to plan their day with set times, I decided to allow you to put whatever you want here. So maybe you can say like null and then null, so you don't have any a start and end time or, or whatever, right? And then you can enter the task name and the heading. Uh, do maths. Uh, 1 plus 1 equals 2 minus 1. That's right. And I made it so that you cannot delete your tasks unless you finish them, right? You can also undo this thing, right? And then so unless you're done, you can't delete it. Of course, uh, that's just to encourage you to finish your task, to actually get your things done, all right? And then yeah, and I also added a few other things. I'm gonna demonstrate this here, like this. It's done using a sort of a JavaScript library called sortable.js. It's quite nice. It's quite epic. Yeah, let's just delete this. Um, so yeah, really, to be honest, thinking about it, I didn't really implement that many features into this project or whatever, into this application. There's only long-term goals, the finished or the tasks section and the notes section. And there's really not much else, to be honest. For some reason, it still took me a full 4 months to complete this project, probably because I decided to uh, redesign the UI multiple times, and I also really wanted the code to be as good as possible. I guess we'll come to the code later, so we'll get to the code later so that you guys get what I mean. Which is why I rewrote the code multiple times, which is probably also why this took so long, despite only having such, just such limited features.
Mining away. I don't know what to mine on mine.
Okay, so let's get to the code, right, of this desktop application. If you're not a nerd and you don't like programming, then just skip the video or just click off the video because it's gonna get real boring from now on. Anyways, let's talk about the code. So, in the Moodle calendar, obviously, maybe you've seen that video. The whole program was just one giant script. Guess what? Haha, this program is not just one giant script. It's actually a lot of scripts. So I made a lot of different JavaScript files for different widgets, I guess. So that was pretty cool. But then halfway through the project, I realized, oh wait, I should have used TypeScript because typed languages are so much better. They're just so much. I can't explain it. They're just so much easier to deal with in some cases. But by then it was too late. Whatever, I'll use TypeScript in my next project. Leave me alone. Now this time I actually used like normal. I actually used like JSON files instead of like normal text files for storing uh, information, for storing the notes and the goals and whatever. Um, for the project or for this our application. So yeah, I guess that was a pretty good decision, and I actually made like a few JSON handlers, I called them, to handle updating and reading from these JSON files. Um, as for the thing that I'm not so proud of, for example, is events.js file. It's extremely long. It's 600 lines long. And a lot of these, if you look through the file, you can see a lot of repetitions because I realized halfway through the project, or rather towards the end of the project, that um, a lot of widgets in the program were very similar as to, well, let me just show you the HTML file actually. Uh, as you can see, most of these or sections, not really widgets, have the same structure. They have a header, a main. The header has a few buttons. I don't know why I use divs instead of actual button elements. Don't ask me. I make great decisions in my life. They all pretty much have the same structure. So what I really should have done was made another app class called like section object, but I didn't do that. Maybe I'll implement it soon, but for now, I won't work on this project anymore because I really want to move on to other things. It's really not ideal that I worked on this project since I don't think I learned that much. Yes, I learned how to use JSON files. Yes, I managed to organize my files into um, multiple classes and multiple files. So yes, I did learn a few things, but I don't think I learned enough from this project. It wasn't the ideal project to work on if you wanted to learn new things, so that's why I don't think I'm going to work on this project for a long time because I just want to move on to other things. Yeah, basically that's just the entire project. It really isn't much if you think about it, but again, somehow it still took me 4 months to make, just simply because of the fact that a lot of these things, a lot of these files in this um, or other things that I wrote, a lot of, or simply because I just rewrote a lot of code. Um, so for example, I started off by implementing this date object, I believe, along with the task object and the node object. So node object, the date object, and the task object, these three things. I started off with these three classes, but then I realized, hey, I could make a superclass called widget object that would just do some stuff concerning the HTML DOM structure, whatever. And then I realized that I wanted to, or no, actually, at the beginning I only did made date objects and task objects, and then I added node objects, and I realized task objects and node objects had the same, pretty much the same kind of structure. So then I had to rewrite a lot of things and add the user-made widget object, which was a superclass of node object, and the task objects, which would then be a subclass of the widget object. So really, it was a lot of back and forth and rewriting code here and there. So all in all, really, I just took a little bit too long for this project. First of all, I should have chosen a better project to work on to learn more things, I guess. And second of all, I should have probably spent less time uh, rewriting that much code, or probably just planned more ahead. Now, planning ahead is actually quite hard, but as I've realized, but I really should have put more thought into the things I wrote before I wrote them, so that I didn't have to rewrite all of these things, right? So yeah, that was Planify. That's the subject of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this kind of stuff, if you like programming and desktop applications, and if you're a nerd as well, then I don't know, like this video, sub, whatever, do whatever you like. I'll see you in a billion years when I've finished my next project. Bye bye.